Welcome to the Home Building Hub, your essential podcast guide to building your new home. Hosted by industry experts Colin Bischoff and Darren Brennan, this conversational podcast will help better educate you about all things new home building so you can avoid costly mistakes and enjoy your building experience to the fullest, no matter which home builder you choose.
Hey there folks, it's Colin here from the Home Building Hub, sitting here with Darren Brennan, co-host. And today we're going to talk to you about house and land packages. We're going to explain what they are, how they work. We're going to also outline for you whether they are or are not exclusive, and essentially just give you all the basics and the 101 tips around house and land packages if that's something you're looking for at the start of the journey. So how are you going today, Darren?
Going great, Colin. Yeah, I was going to say we've had obviously a much better, well, I say much better, a humbling uptake of the podcast so far. So, really like to thank anyone who's had a chance to have a listen. The numbers have certainly exceeded my expectations, and I'm sure they've exceeded yours as well. So it's a great way to kick off the podcast. So, really pleased.
Yeah, it's been good, been quite interesting. So we keep the feedback coming, questions coming, and if you like it, give us a 5-star rating, whatever platform you're listening on. And one other thing, I suppose, if this is the first episode you're listening to, then instead of Darren and myself going through who we are and our background, all that stuff, each episode, we'll just point you to this first episode. It's Introduction to the Home Building Hub podcast. So if you want to learn a bit more about it, our backgrounds, experience, and probably help justify a little bit about, how we potentially are qualified to talk about some of these things, then just head to the intro podcast and you'll learn a bit more about us there and the purpose and the point of the podcast as well. So before we begin, we will kick off with a disclaimer. So whilst we're all about providing value to you, this podcast should not be considered as legal or financial advice. It does contain general information only, and you should seek out independent professional advice on your personal situation before making any legal or financial decisions. So other than that, one more thing before we kick off, Darren, what's the fee for this podcast?
Yeah, if you like the podcast, please share it with a friend. You'd be doing us a great favour in doing so. So, there's no cost to the podcast for you guys listening, but just make sure if you do get value, please share it with somebody else. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Darren, so let's kick off. We'll get you to begin. So let's answer the main question. So, Darren, over to you. What is a house and land package?
I guess a house and land package is essentially where a builder takes a block of land, works out, and I say a block of land from a developer, so more often than not, the builder doesn't own the block of land. Sometimes they will, but more often than not, they're just sourcing that from one of the local land developers. They'll work out the right design to fit on that block. They'll look at things like site costs, council-specific requirements, any of the covenants or design guidelines, and what they are is usually external features, etc., on the home to make it present really well to the street, and put all those together and wrap them up in one neat little package and label that as a house and land package. They'll obviously consider other things that might be required to make that home a home in the end. So I guess that's the first bit. I guess the builders reps there, they will, they have access to all sorts of land. So, they don't specifically have to target that exact package. They can, access the other land if there's something specifically that you want. So if you walk through the display home or you inquire online and you don't see the package that you're after, then, obviously reach out to them and they'll be able to help package up a home onto a particular block of land. And you might have some requirements around the block of land you want as well, and they'll do their best to find that. And they'll be able to, piece that together. They get updated land lists from the developers every week. So, they've got this really current list of land that's available. And in today's market, that's probably broader than at most times. So you've got plenty of choices there, and they'll be able to package that up to really suit your needs. So it's really just there to, I guess, give you a starting point, and then they'll work with you in delivering that package as your ideal home. So, some of the other bits and pieces you might want to put in there to make that your place. Obviously, they bring with that their experience to try and help you out in getting the right block and getting the right features, etc., in there. I guess with the pre-prepared packages, you can certainly shop online for those. So you can jump on places like realestate.com, the builders' websites, the land estates websites. You can pop into a land estate and see them there. Obviously, they'll have them featuring within their display homes as well. So there's plenty of places to find them. You'll see them pop up on social media. You might be getting them in EDM messages from the actual land estates or from the builder themselves. And I guess certainly you could pop in and have a chat. And as I say, they can really look to tailor a package solution around your needs. So hopefully that's a pretty clear and broad understanding of what a house and land package is. Colin, I don't know if you want to add anything in there.
No, it is clear. I think the common question I've seen come at us over the years is really, or maybe not a question, but a little bit of confusion is around, how people think that they're exclusive, and in some cases, which we'll share in a minute, they are. In some cases, they're not. So I guess the point of what is a house and land package is it's quite flexible. The ability for our builder to grab one of their floor plans and pop it on top of a block and price everything up accordingly, that just equals a house and land package. So if you've got an understanding of what you're looking for, then go and find a few packages that suit your budget, your want, your needs. But it's not going to be the be all and end all. Like there's always going to be a little shift left or right with, some extra inclusions where you want to put in and things like that. So we will at the end of this cover some tips, Daz, won't we, just to help people better go through that sort of process.
Absolutely.
But
probably, yeah. Colin, one more too is that occasionally you'll see spec homes come up, and they're not a house and land package. They are more often than not exactly what you see in that package. So it's pretty similar, but you don't have the same flexibility there. And I know the builder I work for, we're currently working on a couple of things where there'll be some contracts issued on a so-called house and land package that allows someone to sign a contract and get the site really fast. So there's those different, I guess, nuances that can happen, but chat to the sales consultant because they're there to help you and guide you through that. So, it's certainly the way, we'd certainly encourage people to go about it. But I guess moving forward, Colin, what makes up the package price? So what pieces that puzzle together?
Yeah, good question. So I think to help people better understand what they can expect in a package price, obviously different builders and different consultants even within builders are packaging up different things different ways. But essentially the easiest part is we grab the house price and we grab the block price and we put them together to create the package, right? So that's the most simplest form. But within that, I guess, land price is the land price. That it is what it is. And fair enough, there may be some room to discuss and negotiate. There's that block equals that price. When it comes to the house, there's a bit more complexity around what's included in that. So as far as some of the items that are included, so every package will have the base price of a house. It'll have some form of site costs included in that, maybe some government costs. So the site costs may be fixed or they may be an allowance, depends on the information that the sales consultant or the builder has at hand initially. A lot of the time, a builder, if they have one, will apply some form of promotion. So it might be in the format of a discount. It might be a value add promotion, like you're getting $20,000 worth of upgrades for the price of $5,000, for example. So they might put that $5,000 in their package and put some extra inclusions in. And also some other things you can have or see in those packages are sort of internal, external features. They'll add some flooring and things like that if they're not picked up by a promotion. Okay, so that's probably the main items that are in packages. And one of the main things that consultants tend to do and builders tend to do, and not everyone does this, but most people do, is they actually deduct any first home buyer grants as well. So when you're out there and you're looking on realestate.com or one of the many platforms, builders' websites, etc., you will find that a lot of the time there's FHB pricing advertised. And what that means is if the package price, we'll just use really simple numbers. Let's say the house is $50K and the land is $50K. The package price is $100K in total. The builder or the consultant will often deduct the $10K first home buyers grant and advertise it at $90,000 in that example. And the reason they do that, it's not to be misleading or anything. It's really just a reflection of what that first home buyer could probably get that for ultimately. However, it's house land packages, just like display homes, just like promotions in any market really, are very competitive. And in order to get you to click on the button and put your details in there and provide an inquiry to a builder, then you're going to looking at the most appealing packages in terms of what most often is, Darren, is price point. Because the packages listed, they don't have all the inclusions listed. They just have some decent dot points. There's not enough room on house land packages to list everything that's included, and nor would people probably spend time going through all that either. They're just looking at the house, maybe the house size, the block size, and the total price, and whether that fits in their budget. That's generally the boxes to tick initially. So they are used as a lead generator. Once you inquire about a package, it's quite rare for someone to buy a package as it stands. It actually doesn't happen very often. There are instances where it does, but most of the time when we get an inquiry as a builder or a sales consultant, you find yourself then talking to the client, explaining a little bit more detail about what is included, what's not included, and then essentially you move over and you start creating an actual quote for that client with your needs and your wants in there. And then all of a sudden that package you inquired about is no longer really that relevant anymore, because you might end up finding, a consultant finds you a new block because your budget might have been a bit higher or a bit lower, or many reasons for it. So that's something to factor in as well, is don't be hung up on, I guess, the package being everything. Like you're trying to find the perfect package. Just if there's something within the vicinity of what you're looking for, then that's the one you should inquire upon. And you'll find the sales consultant will then follow through with, digging a bit deeper and finding you, preparing a decent quote for you in that, I guess, in that needs and wants list that you had. What else have I got?
I think, Colin,
Yep.
when you put that inquiry into, sometimes people probably put the inquiry and then panic a bit, and they get a bit scared. They're gonna have to talk to a salesperson. There's no obligation to buy, I guess, when you put that inquiry in. So use that as an opportunity to field out as much of that information as you can from the sales consultant. And certainly from our end of the spectrum, there's nothing more, I guess, annoying than when you've made the effort, put the package up, someone's put the inquiry through, you ring them back and they never answer or whatever. Just a bit of courtesy there, I guess. We'd love to see, if you're no longer interested, by all means, hey, we're very appreciative of that. And what we'd love to hear is, hey, look, right now I'm okay and appreciate your time. So do the right thing by people. I guess a bit of social I'm trying to think, etiquette would be really appreciated from our side of the spectrum too. Is if you're no longer interested, let them know, and then they'll leave you alone too, which is good. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to keep ringing you many times until they talk to you, because that's their job and that's how they derive an income. So, yeah.
One thing I'd add, Darren, that I didn't mention in too much detail is when you are looking at house and land packages, as I said, a lot of people are looking for price point. So a lot of builders and sales consultants will try and target price point. In order to target price point, it means that they're going to probably be leaving a few things out. Okay, they'll be putting up the bare bones base price, the bare bones of everything, just to get a price point in order to get an inquiry. That's just the reality of the way it's done. So it's really important to understand, as I said, it's not the be all and end all, the package pricing. It's really to get an inquiry. And in some cases, absolutely, people do buy that exact house on that exact block as a package and they're done. But quite often it's not the case. So please understand, some strategies are different. Some of the people advertising packages will preload the package with everything you need, inclusion-wise, and you won't have to upgrade anything. And then some will go as low as they possibly can with a great promotion and discount. You're likely to inquire with the second option there. You're likely to inquire with the cheaper one, even though ultimately when you're going through the quote process, you'll probably end up back at the reality is you might end up with the price point of the first one anyway. It's just they had everything preloaded up front. Okay, so don't be afraid to send a few inquiries. I wouldn't be just clicking on the cheapest. If you've got the area that you like, the plan perhaps that you like, and it's somewhere in the vicinity of budget, flick the inquiry through. That's what I would recommend, Darren, because then at least you can get a call, talk about that builder. And again, like we covered on other podcasts or episodes, it's all about, for me, is confidence and trust. So, you get to know the consultant, get to know the builder, what's in there, what's not in there, and all those sorts of things. So absolutely. I think that breaks that down pretty well. So one question for you, Darren, I think it's important to clear up is, with house and land packages, are they exclusive, yes or no?
I guess it's yes or no are the answers, but sometimes the blocks can be exclusively provided by the developer to the builder. So in which case it does become exclusive, and that may well be for a period of time, or it may not have an expiry date. There's a bit of both go on. And there are times when builders will buy blocks. So they may have actually purchased a block. They may be on selling that block or nominating that block. Sometimes there are builders who do their own small subdivisions. So same sort of scenario. So in those cases, yes, they would be exclusive. So I guess the majority, though, of packages aren't exclusive. So, it's probably 9 out of 10 are not exclusively held for that builder. So that block of land is available for purchase from the land developer. Again, like our last episode, we'd certainly encourage talking to the house consultant about the block of land. So you've got a real understanding of the build needs before you go, great, I saw that package advertised, I'm going to go snaffle the block that's packaged on. At least understand what are the things that are tied to that. It could be that the design is more specific for it and you're thinking of a different house design. It could be, there's an easement at the back of the block and this particular house design suits because it's a shorter house and therefore it's away from the easement. The house you're looking at's longer and it's going to cause you some issues. So, again, just seek that advice. That's free advice. Pop in, have a chat to the sales consultant, give them a call, and they'll be able to assist you through some of that, and if they can sell you a home, absolutely they would love to. But if you choose to go to another builder, that's okay too. They didn't own that block of land. So you've been able to, use that as an opportunity to find a nice parcel of land as well. So For sure, that's it. Yeah. So bit of yes, bit of no, but some are exclusive, yes.
Yeah, that's true. There is also probably the ones in estates. If you're a builder in a new home, in a new home village, that they can be given exclusive lots by that developer. So I guess you can just speak to the sales consultant, the builder, and you'll find out whether that is exclusive. Even in the event, though, that it is exclusive, the developer's not going to just send all of their land to make it exclusive for certain sections or builders, etc. There will always be other blocks available. It just depends on the market as to how many blocks of land are available for sale. Okay, so hopefully that helps that. To complete this, we've gone pretty quick today, which is great. We might leave you with some of our tips regarding house and land packages, just that you can take with you as you're doing your homework online and starting that, I guess, a few of those discussions with builders. So, Daz, we've got a couple there if you want to kick them off first.
For sure. I guess land price is a key component to the overall package. So ask for the best price you possibly can, because that's going to, certainly help. And in a current market like now, there's an opportunity to maybe save it, $1,000 or two or possibly more. So, asking the question, no harm in asking the question, is that the best price I can get on the land? Next one, I guess, is don't get hung up on the facade image. You'll have a list of available facades and they may come with a cost, but there's going to be other facades available. So if the package is the right package with the right design but the wrong facade in that area, have a chat to the sales consultant and they'll see what they can do to help you. And again, you might have a particular facade that you like, but that estate does not allow that facade to be built, right? That style of facade. So again, seeking that advice of the sales consultant is really going to help. But, generally speaking, you're going to have a choice of a few facades that you might be able to work on. And one of the other ones you can get caught on facades, I guess, is if a lot of estates set a 1 in 5 rule, meaning that within 5 homes, the same facade cannot be used. So they'll want to, you want to check that whether that same facade's been used around there so that you just don't end up missing out. It might mean you just move a couple of blocks down and all of a sudden you're going to have the house with the facade you want rather than missing out on that. So, those are sort of things to check along the way. I guess, by all means, do your homework online and see what's out there as far as packages in estates, but don't just keep searching endlessly for the perfect package, as it's a bit like, visiting every display home and then eventually, I guess becoming so overwhelmed you can't make a decision. So, work out where you want to live, a rough idea of the house design you want and what you want it to look like, and then put a couple of inquiries in and go and find out a bit more information at that point. So maybe I throw a few to you now, Colin.
Yep. No, that's good. And I think people do spend a lot of time online trying to do as much homework as they can. And there comes a point, just like when you're walking through those displays or just like when you're looking through packages, there comes a point where you just want to be able to go and you need to be able to talk to a couple of sales consultants, get yourself a quote based on your needs and your wants. You've just got to get to that point. So some people will take 6 months to get to that point. Some will take 6 days. I would always recommend when you're ready, go and have that chat, because otherwise you just keep looking around and you keep getting confused on what's out there. So I think that's probably my main one, to be honest, as far as tips concerned, is I think when you're ready, go out there and start talking to sales consultants, because they will be the ones that give you the ultimate pricing with the inclusions you want. A couple of things probably for me, Darren, will be here's what not to do. So if you're going to inquire about a house and land package, don't just send your email address. Like, honestly, guys, that's completely and utterly pointless, because you're not buying like a loaf of bread off a shelf. You're talking about a house, and there's so many complexities and variables in relation to what you want in it regarding site costs and this, that, and the other thing. But you've got maybe that package, that block is not the one that suits your budget in the end. Quite often that's the case. So you best provide your phone number, and you best take that call and learn a little bit about it yourself from the sales consultant, and go through the process with them. Sending an email and just leaving your email address, and that happens all the time, all day, every day, because I'm not sure, but clients seem to expect that we're going to spend all of our time, energy, and effort on giving them house and land package solutions without a single discussion. Just telling you openly and honestly that that's not productive. That's not going to help you get the package that you actually ultimately need. Okay, so that's definitely one thing I recommend you don't do.
Yeah, on that note, Colin, I think if you're putting your email only in, then you probably haven't provided enough detail to have the discussion. Like you say, you probably got all the information you already need that you already got on the internet. So, maybe we need to put a buy now button or something, if that's all the information you need, because I guess it's a transaction. So we need some information from you, you want information from us, and that's best had through conversation like we're having right now. You get value out of that. And again, it could be over the phone. It could be booking an appointment to come in face to face. Don't feel obliged. Yes, the sales consultant always wants to try and, their job is to sell homes and house and land packages and help you through that. But if you walk out and you've got value out of that conversation and you've thanked them for their service, that's a big part of their job as well. So don't think that their only job is to just sell to every person that walks in, and that's certainly not the case. So, make sure you've in a comfortable spot. If you need a little bit of thinking time, you need to go home and sleep for the night, and make sure you do sleep the night before you make that decision. Go home and sleep the night. Like, we'd encourage that. We don't want you to be buying on the spot and then going home and being remorseful about that and not sleeping and thinking, what have I done? I've just, that's not a great experience for any customer. So, make sure you're happy before you put your money down.
Yeah, of course. And I guess the only way to do that is to have those discussions. It's probably more, the reason I'm saying that, I guess, and repeating that, is not so much about the selling part. It's more about your education and understanding of what it is you're getting, and also what it is you're not getting, and the decisions you're making around that to fit your budget. In order for you to learn and understand all of those factors and features, you need to sit down, or at least over a Teams meeting or a phone call. Initially, you need to sit down with someone who can give you that information, so you're best educated to make the right decision for your needs. Okay, so probably that's the one I'd finish on, Darren. That's my main tip. Making
absolutely.
sure that you get back to the sales consultants. If you're not interested, just tell them. They're fine, because otherwise, as we said in another episode, they will keep ringing you. So you may as well just tell them, hey, actually, I don't like that package. I'm not interested. I'm going to go over here and talk to another builder. That's actually fine for a sales consultant to hear. That they'd probably prefer to hear that than ring you 3 more times every single, however often. And you'd probably prefer that too, I suspect, as a prospective home buyer. So, that's where I'd leave it. I think that wraps it up, Darren. We've covered off some pretty good basics here for people who are starting the process. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, again, we're here to help. So, and you can obviously reach out to us directly as well if you've got any questions. You can shoot us a message via the website. So, if there's something that you're a bit stuck on, by all means, feel free to reach out to us as well. We'd be really happy to assist in any way we can.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, cool. Well, guys, thanks again for listening to the podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. We hope it's provided value, to you. And if you have enjoyed it, please jump on, leave us a 5-star review, and that will really help. And share the podcast, as Darren said at the top. Any of those questions he mentioned you want to send to us, go to homebuildinghub.com.au. And other than that, until next time, we'll talk to you then. See you later. Bye.
Thank you.